have Merrill Stone. Merrill is a trained, compassionate gerontologist and grief counselor working with the elderly population. She helps clients navigate through important transitional periods in their lives through counseling, advocating, and prioritizing, all with warmth, dignity, and good cheer. She holds a BA in music, voice, an MS in gerontology and counseling, and another graduate degree in grief counseling. And something fun, Merrill also graduated from CTI, the prestigious Commercial Theater Institute for Producing in New York City. And she is a proud mother of the twin brother comedy duo, Stone and Stone. With her background in counseling and singing, she's been known as the crooning therapist. The adult children and loved ones of her clients have said that, in addition to her expertise, they have really valued the love and care that she brings to her work. Welcome,
Merrill. We're so glad you're here.
Thank you so much. It's such a pleasure being here.
We're so glad. So first question, I mean, we might as well get right down to the nitty gritty. Why did you go into gerontology?
Stories. I had a wonderful relationship with my grandmother, my uncles, who were elderly, aunties, so-called aunties, and wonderful family friends. And I always loved their stories, which I felt had wisdom and guidance and grace, and I would say people.
Nice. Yeah, you're a real people person.
Yes.
Well, I have a question. I mean, it sounds like you wear so many hats, and you're multi-educated in so many facets of gerontology and grief counseling, and I'm blown away. But what do you enjoy most about what you do?
People. So it's really having some issues. It's a privilege for me to come into their lives. Everyone's given a clean slate. I didn't know them when they were younger. Most people have some issues, and trying to make systems work as best as they can. And also, I work with family. So I work it's intergenerational, with the adult kids and spouses and loved ones. And it's wonderful. And there definitely is a quick connect, generally, most of the time.
That's wonderful.
That's great. What would you say are your strengths? I mean, I'm sure you have so many, but give us a couple.
Well, boy, this is wonderful. So many. Thank you. And you. I think inherently I'm patient. I'm a patient person. I'm empathetic, and I'm helpful. So those qualities, can work well. I also can be playful. In this type of counseling, it's very, very different from other counselings. It's quick, it's generally quick, and you can hold hands with an older woman if she wants to hold hands or put her arm around you and sympathize, and get onto their plight. And generally I can. Because I'm a singer, like you, Anne, Gershwin and Rodgers and Hart and Irving Berlin and Rodgers and Hammerstein can be very helpful in trying to connect.
Yeah, it sounds like it'd be very moving, and it brings back and awakens a time long ago, and brings.
And I also think, because I'm older, my parents have died. There've been losses, and if I can be helpful to the adult child and really talk about certain things that I've experienced, that can be good at times.
Right.
Absolutely.
Relatability. Yeah.
So, which brings me to the next question. What is your specialty?
Dementia. Alzheimer's is the big one. And I seem to have a lot of clients have that. And, it was interesting, Stephanie, that you asked that, because I didn't realize why I really went into this. But my father was very sick when I was younger, and he had a brain tumor, but he had the same qualities or similar qualities to dementia and Alzheimer's. So I think that I have a certain, affinity to that. And I see I'm doing other neurological disorders. Parkinson's, there have been great things happening in Parkinson's lately. The medication for dementia and Alzheimer's still needs more work, but it's promising, neurological, and I think that in time, what those meds were trying to do were to delay the disease. And if you know about that, Steph. So and certainly you do, Anne. So if we can delay the disease might not even happen,
right.
Or we won't even see the symptoms that are so great. Yes.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
That's true. Absolutely.
Yeah.
What do you think your client needs most?
That's very interesting. So many times you lose your voice, in the sense of people don't want to hear you. I had an architect once who was brilliant, disheveled because he was taking care of his wife with Alzheimer's, but his cognitive ability was not diminished. He just looked it. And he was working on a building and had so much information, but nobody listened to him. And I tried to help out, give him a voice, but nobody listened to. And then we saw that the mistakes that they were talking about certain things. And he said, no, I've been there, I've worked on projects, and that could be a mistake. Were made in any case, but he wasn't listened to. So I think that, and with my other clients, and I generally just love them, I really adore them and we're very close. But it's to give them the confidence, the dignity, you can't, it's a terrible thing when people lose their dignity, and to make them feel useful again. And they are, and to make them feel important. And also, it's not over, and to tell them and the families, there's still some joy, whatever that means. But, there still is life to live. And you want to live it. You want memories, and you want them to feel the best they possibly can too.
I totally agree with that. And I think that, unfortunately and sadly, there's a lot of misconception with that. People don't realize that, a lot of the elderly, these people, there is still so much life in them. You kind of sometimes have to tap into it, but it's there. It's still there. And they can add still so much and still enjoy so much in life.
Exactly. And get them out to the world.
100%. 100%.
Thank you, because everything is creativity, and there has to be options, and even for them to see the outside. The coronavirus was the worst that could happen to everyone, but that isolation. So you try to come up with options, and I know, that we as a team can come up with different professionals and different ways of living better lives for everyone, for everyone.
Yeah.
So that's what I would say.
I totally agree with you. You're on the same page as a fellow, because I used to also work, and I still do, but that's something that's extremely near and dear to my heart with my own grandmother. So I can totally relate on many different levels, but I really appreciate what you're saying. I believe in your philosophy. I love what you're doing. I also wanted to let everyone, our audience, know that Merrill, which is really just a wonderful thing to know, that Merrill will also go to doctor appointments and many times translate the information to the families. She will speak directly to the doctor. She'll also, I believe, will do home assessments in their apartments for safety assessments.
Yes.
And she helps put together a reliable, compassionate team, which is, I can't even tell you the value of that. You can't put a price tag on that. That's amazing.
Well, thank you. And generally people who I've worked with, so, and same with you, so you've got a good team together. I many times will work for the adult children who are out of town. So for me to go to see a neurologist or a GP and, and explain everything, and then they certainly can call the doctor afterwards. It just makes it easier. And,
sure.
And for the, for the spouse who's feeling so diminished, those are terms, those are red flags that, we have to, as caregivers, we have to watch. And so maybe that's respite. Maybe that's a little more care, a little more creativity.
A little more support. Yeah.
A little more support. Maybe has felt overwhelmed going to the neurologist. And just gone with their spouse who who's had diminished cognitive abilities. Right. And then where am I?
Right.
And then an adult child and even say, well, what went on, Mom? And you don't remember. You don't. So with paper and pad and hopefully, I could help. And then we all know assessing safety is most important. Absolutely. And it's not, we always think that it's for the client, but if the client has a loved one, who is also elderly, that person can fall too, so you try to put those systems together as best you can.
Yeah, absolutely. It's so important. We're so glad you joined us today, Merrill. What you have to offer is so important, and we're so glad to call you one of our teammates, and I know we will do